Hello, everyone. This is the Ride On Network countdown to 2021. Happy December 7th, everyone. I'm Ashford. Along with me is Diane. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Ashford.
We have another question from Twitter. This is from at Krypton's Archive. What do you think should be Helena Wayne's role at DC right now? Which direction do you think DC needs to go with her character on this continuity, considering we haven't really seen much of her lately?
Well, I strongly feel that Helena Wayne is a Just Society character. So I do think that if the goal moving forward is to bring the characters back to their roots, but also explore, different takes on these characters, I do think that moving forward, we need to have Helena Wayne come back as the Just Society's Huntress. So I would like to see the classic pre-crisis Helena Wayne Huntress come back, with the Just Society, be reunited with the classic version of Power Girl, and actually go back to basics with the character, but also take her in new directions. And so I think that Helena Wayne personally needs to go back to being the original Huntress. She needs to go back to being a lawyer. She needs to go back to being the daughter of the Golden Age versions of Batman and Catwoman, because that's what cements her as a Just Society character and what specifically ties her to DC's Golden Age continuity. And I think that they really need to reinstate all of the relationships that are significant to that character, especially Power Girl, who is her most iconic best friend. And of course, these two characters are the second generation world's finest team on Earth 2, or at least on the pre-crisis Earth 2. And then, of course, definitely reinstate, some of her supporting cast as well. I really like Carol, who used to work at a law firm, reinstate the actual law firm that she used to work in, or at least reinstate the characters from that law firm, like Arthur Cranston, who was her boss. And of course, I would love to see the original Earth 2 Dick Grayson return as Robin. I really liked him, in that role. He was also a partner at the law firm that Helena Wayne works at. And of course, bring back Carol. And if you're going to bring back a character like Harry Sims, more meaningfully flesh out the relationship. And if these two characters are not meant to work out together, then, have Helena Wayne move on from that relationship and, explore other relationships with other people, So, yeah, I think that bring the character back to basics is what I would like to see happen, because I feel that Helena Wayne strayed too far from everything that made her unique in the past 3 decades, and I would love to see much of the original concept that Paul Levitt, Joe Staton, and Bob Layton envisioned for her character to be reinstated in the new continuity moving forward. As I said, I feel like Helena Wayne these days is too far removed from who she's supposed to be conceptually. And I would like to see, the character, I would like to see all of those concepts return and just reinterpret it in a more modern setting.
Would you like to see it where a young Helena Wayne starts off as Robin and then graduates into being the Huntress?
I'm admittedly not a fan of her being Robin, because in the classic Earth 2 continuity, Dick Grayson had that role before her. And on the main DC continuity, there are literally 5 Robins that precede her. So I'm not really a fan of Helena starting out as Robin, because part of what made her interesting, in my opinion, is that both Bruce and Selina had moved on from being Batman and Catwoman in the first place. And so they actually gave Helena Wayne a normal upbringing. So that's one way that she really stands out as a character, and one reason that she's generally different from all the other Bat kids in the Bat family. She actually had a normal upbringing, and while Bruce and Selina still taught her, all of the skills that they personally know, they never intended for her to actually pick up the family business. So Helena Wayne deciding to become the Huntress was her own personal decision, and I think that decision should always be Helena's. It should never be her parents who decide for her that she should be a crime fighter very early on in her life, because now you're taking the choice away from Helena. So I think that, Helena choosing to become the Huntress and deciding that, being the Huntress and continuing her father's work on her own terms is her life's calling, that gives her more agency, in my opinion. So, yeah, I strongly dislike the idea of her being another Robin or another Batwoman for that reason. because by making her Robin, you take away her decision to become a superhero on her own terms. And by making her Batwoman, you're just placing her in her dad's shadow and you're disregarding Selina's side of her upbringing. So, yeah, I'm just not a fan of that concept. So, yeah, I'm probably going to disappoint a lot of readers that, Helena Wayne as Robin or as Batwoman, but it's true, if you make Helena Robin or Batwoman, you take away what makes her unique and interesting as a character, and you basically make her like everyone else in the Bat family. And that to me is just not interesting in concept. It's more interesting for Helena to have a normal upbringing because, again, she's born to a Bruce and Selina who moved on from the need of Batman and Catwoman, and they actually wanted to live their lives as Bruce and Selina. And Helena deciding that, being a lawyer is not quite doing it for her. She doesn't feel like she's doing enough to help the people of Gotham, her deciding on her own that being the Huntress, she's more effective, she's better at getting things done, it allows the character to have more agency, in my opinion.